Hi, Pookalicious.
Pookalandia. I call you Pookalandia.
Pooksters. No.
Oh,
Queenies.
scared.
We're staying with Queenies. Hi, Queenies.
We've talked about this already.
We have talked about this because we try to finish.
Huh? We tried to what?
We tried to film this, but
We tried to film this the other day. I'm gonna keep it short, sweet. We tried to film this the other day. Unfortunately, a fire alarm was going around where we were parked, and it was like, and then we're like, you know what? It's a sign. We shouldn't do it. We're very much of signs people. There's a sign, and we're like, we shouldn't do it. We then we're like, let's go grab something to eat. The alarm stops, and I was like,
there's a big piece of turd on this side. Is that a sign? It's smeared. Do you want to see it? It's literally like charcoal black. I was like,
don't.
I don't want to look at it, but it's like.
But you're explaining it.
Trigger warning.
After you say it. Trigger warning.
I can't.
Anyways, we are
Today's
back.
Episode
Season 2, episode 2.
Look at this. Did it smear? Wait.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Let me get this one.
Actually, I don't want it anymore. Girl, I look like I came from the railroad.
Working on the railroad.
Okay.
All right.
Let's start this podcast. First and foremost, I like to mention that we have an intro that we say in the podcast audio that Leslie sounds dead in.
I'm sorry. And
So I had to do some
record it
editing.
again. We'll re-record it again.
Do some editing.
Okay.
So,
Hi, I'm Leslie Marie.
and I'm Natalia.
And this is the...
Why you're early? That's not.
Nope.
Room.
Cut. We only have 37 minutes.
Okay,
on this
go.
camera. Okay. Hi, I'm Leslie Marie.
And I'm Natalia.
And this is the...
We are Fashionably Late podcast, where we talk about the clothing we wear and the untold but very true stories about why we wear what we wear. I don't need this.
Wow.
It's all in here.
Wow.
Dedication.
Theme
Like
song.
who else is dedicated? Dun, dun, dun,
Who else can-
dun,
Da-da-da.
dun, dun, dun. I don't know.
Is that how it goes?
This episode
When that beat drops. No, I'm not going to do that.
Dun, 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 dun.
All
Dun,
right.
dun, dun.
Today's episode
So
is
cringe.
football.
Football.
It's football season, y'all.
What?
Have I ever actually watched a football game
Yes.
other than the Super Bowl? No, I've only watched the ones when it's the Super Bowl. Not even. You know
Did you not watch?
I have my friendship bracelet.
Leslie, you're so wrong. You are so wrong.
Why?
What about Cinderella Story? That was a football game you watched. He was playing in the rain, and she said, "I don't watch you anymore." And he.
I
ran
think
up
that was
those
the only
stairs.
football game I've ever seen.
What about Smallville?
Did he play football?
Yeah. What the fuck are you?
I forgot. I literally forgot.
Clearly.
Oh my gosh, I would also watch Fashionaly Late. See, I like shows about football, but I
Oh
don't
my God.
watch
Football.
football games. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Do I understand? Yes. Once I'm there, am I interested? And
She's like,
and I'm screaming. I'm like, yo!
Like that one time that
Yes.
she played pool
That's
and
a
the
whole other
ball.
story.
Okay. Anyways, what are you
It
wearing?
defied gravity. Okay.
Sure.
Do I look like a skater boy from the early 2000s? Probably.
Skater boy.
He was a skater
Skater
boy.
boy. I was.
She said, I'll see you later.
Sorry, there was somebody right there.
Okay. You thought there was
No, I was like, that's what I was thinking.
I'm wearing, I don't know what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this.
She's not wearing clothes for those
this
listening.
blue.
Imagine.
Oh, I'm risking.
Imagine.
This blue long sleeve sweater, but it
I feel
has
like
like
a
lines.
varsity.
It's like giving varsity. Okay, we're going a little vintage with it. But I could also get mistaken for a teenage boy in the early 2000s
Yeah.
who skates. Also, my golas. Did I
She
take them
literally
off? Yes.
Whoop them out.
I got my own personalized
Whip them out.
insoles. So
Yes, I could.
I'm gonna talk about those forever. And
First
ever.
episode.
Anyways,
now second
love my
episode.
golas. Shout out to golas. Golas.
You go, goals.
You go, golas.
Goals.
Gales.
Girls. Girls.
And then my Aritzia Levi's
Baggy
baggy dad jeans,
Could you say
which I will
Levi's?
never shut up about.
Maybe you
they're
should.
black.
So I can talk about what
all
I'm
right,
wearing.
let's talk about it.
I'm wearing a knitted black vest.
Uh huh. That's it.
And then I'm wearing my work outfit underneath this.
So she's got running shorts.
No. I have a onesie. I have a onesie.
She hasn't. Yeah, a onesie. What about her shoes?
I have my work shoes.
Wow. Oh, and we're not gonna say where you work.
No.
Okay. It's just a workout.
And then I have a slick back bun. I have some jewelry.
I
have some accessories, some glasses.
Wow.
I made myself
she
present.
took like gym wear.
I took that mom from Instant Family that's trying to find her Sandra Bullock story.
Get her out of here. Get her out of here.
Let's. Anyways,
today's episode is all about football, baby.
Football.
Dun, 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 the season.
Dun, 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 dun. That's like that.
How did we get to this?
Travis Kelce.
But did I see Jason Mahone? Is that his name? No, that's different. What's his best friend? Austin Mahone. That's his name?
Yeah.
His best friend.
Yes. Jason Kelce is his brother.
Oh, okay. That's okay. We saw somebody that's linked to Travis Kelce.
It's Austin.
Nearby.
No?
I saw him, literally, I was working. I saw him outside the window.
I'm just gonna, you keep talking
like
about
he was like at the mall. He was
Killer
just
trap.
doop. And I was like, doop. So I am 1 degree closer to meeting Taylor Swift, and I'm so excited about that. So because of our queen dating Travis Kelce, we got inspired to do a football episode. Dun dun dun.
Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. So high school. Mm-hmm. Was it you play ball? I know Aristotle. I know the song. Right now I can't think of it.
Right now, thoughts.
So thoughts aren't thoughting.
What's his name?
Thoughts aren't thoughting? Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick!
You know who's Austin? Wasn't there a singer called something like that? Actually?
Not the wrong one. We got the wrong one. But I did see Patrick. I saw Patrick Mahomes. Okay,
can you tell me to watch football?
Also, when I tell you my cousin was livid.
We have a group chat with our cousin, and we go, guess what?
Football.
I was like, guess
Die
what?
hard.
Who literally just walked in front of Leslie's store, and he goes, I will
got the
never
name
forgive
right.
you.
Patrick Mahone, and he was. I'm probably saying it wrong. Guys, don't watch this. I'm saying guys. Girlies, we're here.
We're here
to
the
chat.
lingo. We're here to
We're
Yap
here to
City.
chat.
We're here to Yap City.
I'm so sorry.
So
I would be so embarrassed.
You got the Mahone right. First it was Jason.
Yeah.
And then it was Austin. I was like,
you know what?
Austin.
It was somebody in that space.
It was somebody from the alphabet.
Yeah, but okay, I'm not lying,
Alphabet.
guys. Patrick Mahone was at the mall here where I work. Literally saw him. I was working, saw a crowd after him. And then I saw the crowd wearing the jerseys. And then I didn't know who it was. And then my friend's like, that's him, because she loves football. And then I was like, oh, that's him. She takes a picture.
And she's like, oh, that's him.
She shows me the picture. So did I see him through a picture? Yes. But I also saw the crowd walk by.
The crowd walked by and she saw.
We didn't make eye contact, but I contacted. You get what I'm saying. Anyways, I'm 1 degree closer to meeting Taylor Swift. You're welcome. So if you're listening to this episode, you're 1 degree closer to meeting Taylor Swift. Thanks to me. You're welcome.
That's a marketing. You have to watch the
you have
episode
to watch
to be
this
1%
episode.
closer.
Guys, if I meet Taylor Swift, I'd be like...
Technically, they'd be 0.5% closer.
But
because
do you
they
wanna,
don't know us.
Do you want to talk about how, like, if I really ever met Taylor Swift, she'd be like, hi, like, so sweet, so nice. I'd just be like...
She's a tall lady.
I'd just be like...
You're short.
I am short.
She's my shorty queen.
But, like, my thing is, like, I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like...
Just stare.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Terry's concert and I was Pit and he came out, you know, I literally had my mouth open for like a good 2 minutes and my friend was like, are you
made
okay?
eye contact with him.
I know, yeah. Aside from that, I told my friend, it's just inside, I'm trying to process the fact that he's actually real. Like, he's like literally arm's length. So I was like, hold on, let me process this. Like, he's actually...
And I think my thing is also like, you.
And then they make eye contact with you.
It's just weird.
Anyways.
Has nothing to do with the episode. We've
Yes, it
used
does.
up a third of this. Oh, okay, actually, yes. Okay, so let's get back to
Back
football.
to the roots. Back to the hike.
beginning.
Hike.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Score.
We need to have like a touchdown dance. You know
Yar.
how they do that? I think that's already taken over by the ones that are outside the cars. Is somebody there?
No. Oh, you said outside the cars.
Like, yeah, like the foamy thingy
Oh.
outside the car
I was
dealership.
like, there's someone outside the car.
She's afraid by home dance.
Anyways, let's jump. Let's hike 20
Let's
yards to
hustle.
the
How
history.
How much lingo do we know?
to the history of football gear uniform. You should just.
You should pause it so we could.
You should pause.
Oh.
Hold on, I need a burp. Let me pause.
Burp. Let them see you
I
burp.
actually can't. I
Let
can't.
me
I got nervous.
She got nervous.
I
She got
got
nervous. The
Go.
burp is hidden. Midway through my, if you burp midway through this,
I'll step out of the car.
she'll be like, guys, give me a
If
minute.
you hear the car open, it's because I
Taylor Swift, ignore this, please.
Embarrassing. I'm so sorry.
Taylor Swift is watching you burp right now.
Hearing me first. Anyways.
Okay. The history of football uniforms. I feel like I need glasses. I need a little music of like old time.
We need to do like the Britney Broski when she goes, and the lights go dark. When you...
Why would I would literally, okay, that's another Queenie
I'd
I
be
would
like-
love to meet. No, you know what I would do? I would take sunglasses and then I'd just be like, very
Literally,
demure,
she'd throw them
very
over there.
mindful. Okay, so the history of football
Mhm.
uniforms, right? So this has been something that has changed and evolved as the sport has grown, right? So it's evolved with the sport. Anyways, in the early 19th century, is this like interpreted dance? Okay.
Sorry.
Interpret football, okay? Like instead of interpret dance, yeah. In the early 19th century, okay. I hate also another thing.
Girl.
It's the 19th century, but yet 1800s.
Because we go back.
You did this for what? Okay.
Because you ain't going to be like, it's the first century
All I'll
when
have
you're
to
at
say-
like 89.
All I have to say, a man did that. Okay.
I think Jesus did.
Oh!
I think. I might be wrong.
Sorry, big guy. Okay.
Are the dinosaurs RIP?
The dinosaurs. How did we get to dinosaurs?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think because I saw like a little.
Okay. So, American football, because
Mhm.
there's a difference.
There's
Okay, there's football,
and then
and
there's,
there's
American football. When I
Which
was researching
Americans, we could have called it something different.
hike ball.
We could have thrown ball, handball. Nope, that's already one. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Football.
Anyways, American football began to take shape as the players were playing. Anyways, okay, it was really just a jersey and like jeans, right? They were leggings. Let's be real.
They were leggings.
If you look them up, they were leggings. They were male
Mhm.
leggings, which is kind of funny. And then a jersey. Like it was just like something like this, but obviously like cotton, and it was like almost like just a
Mhm.
t-shirt. It had the numbers. It was very DIY, guys. It wasn't anything too intense.
They were the Hobby Lobby girlies.
They were Hobby Lobby before Hobby Lobby.
Before Hobby Lobby came.
And like they probably had it hand sewn like
sewn.
in the numbers, and the way that they would distinguish themselves obviously was through the colors, so that had a lot to do with it. So this is just the beginning stages,
has a
right?
lot to do with how they you're able to tell like what team. 'cause
Yeah,
of the
also there
colors.
was really no protection. Okay,
No.
they went into it blindly. So
They lost a tooth.
I mean, they still do, but
like there's no protection.
But, you know, yeah, there was no headgear. So it wasn't until the 20th century, early 20th century,
Which is 1900s.
helmets, yeah, which is so confusing. Leather helmets were finally introduced, guys. So they
Mhm.
had something up in their noggin to protect their noggin.
Because they were like.
Because they were lagging. Anyway.
They were like.
Okay, so they had that. And they had canvas pants now. So the pants were a little bit thicker now. Obviously, because
Not
of...
ideal for hot weather.
Well, not ideal for hot weather, but also, like, if you're getting thrown around in the mud, in the
True.
grass,
Give some
Like,
protection.
versus it being, like, leggings, like, that's better. you know?
Mhm.
But there was still no padding on anything, right? So if you fell, broke a bone, you fell and broke a bone.
That was your destiny.
That was it. And then the jersey designs got a bit more elaborate. You started adding a little bit of logo to it.
You're like,
The-
a little more elaborate.
like my voice. I don't know, we're on something today. So they got a bit more elaborate,
Mhm.
okay? Like we
Yeah.
got a little I don't know what that was.
Oh, what's it, Patrick? Oh.
SpongeBob. I can't right now. I'm so sorry about this. Guys, she's so rude. All right. 1920s, 1930s, right? This is when things started to pick up a little bit more. This is if you Google what it looked like in the beginning, you'll probably get these pictures first.
These are the ones that you remember.
These are the ones that you know. So now the teams kind of actually started becoming a team. Like it became something, especially
Mhm.
because of college ball, right?
Mhm.
And so they were more distinguished. It was more official. It
Mhm.
kind of started gaining that momentum and popularity, right?
Okay.
So basically everything was identified through the jerseys, through their numbers, through their names. Like that's when we finally started getting like the full scope of the t-shirt having everything, like the jersey. Then they got shoulder pads, guys. They realized we need some padding in here, not just up here, but also down here.
They were like,
So it was pretty much just shoulder pads though. So that was it for them, especially when they're like, you know, hitting whatever. And then they got cleats because again, they're running.
the turf.
Yeah.
It's harder to hold yourself down,
Mhm.
especially in the positions that they are.
Coming from a
And
sports person.
Coming from someone that was just track, the cleats and like the little thingies help a lot to kind
To,
of
like-
stand where you need to and like not slip and stuff. And sometimes if it's artificial or like whatever, like it's a little bit harder for regular shoes for you not to slip and fall.
Also, because I feel like back then, like the football fields were not like they were today. So it was
No.
actual grass in the sense that it wasn't soft,
Mhm.
and it was just like there was rocks. there
Also,
was
if
mud,
it
there was-
rained and they were in real like
Yeah.
it was bad too.
it was bad.
Yeah.
So that, you know, they started getting a little bit more protection, a little bit more intense.
Mhm.
In the 1940s to the 1950s, we don't have leather helmets anymore. Now we
leather.
have plastic helmets. Plastic was introduced, right? So it's kind of more close to what we see now.
Mhm.
Then we started using synthetic fabrics, so more like workout
Kind of.
fabrics, which I think this was also starting to get introduced in the workout world.
Which, if you know, you look back when we did about swimsuits,
Yeah.
we talk about how in the 1950s is when the swimsuit started to evolve for women. So now, like, there were more materials that were like designed for that.
Mhm.
So same thing when it comes now for athletic
Athletic
gear
wear.
and wear. It's like they're transitioning to a more like manageable like type
Fabric.
of fabric that you need for it, because you can't work with canvas. You can't work without just
No.
like thin
Also,
leather.
because you start realizing you need something lightweight, but something that will like help with
Fresh.
sweat. It's still fresh. It's
Yeah.
breathable. All of these factors go into it, and so you know, trial and error. But they're finally getting it a little bit better.
Yes.
And then the logo started appearing on their jerseys now.
Mhm.
So it wasn't just the names, it wasn't just the numbers, it was
the colors.
actual logos.
It was actual
Yeah.
logos.
So
That's
this
how we
is when
know.
you had mascots. Throwback to another episode.
That was our second episode.
And this is our second episode now of season 2. Wow, we're so smart. We didn't even plan this. All right. Sorry, I have so much to go through.
Yeah.
1960s to 1970s, we had advanced padding. So now it was also in the hips, in the thighs, and the knee pads. Full protection, babes. Then there was also a lot of influence because they were now like broadcasted on television. So the colors had to be more like in your face, like boom, attractive. So it wasn't so many like subtle colors. Do you want to talk about colors? Because I feel like as an artiste, how it translates to screen, it could always change.
Yeah, I think it has to do a lot with the screen. Like when you watch your TV, like, you know, what a blue color, what a red color is, and like combining the two for it to be bright, to be known as well. Like, because sometimes it would be taking long shots, there's no close-up like there is now, so you have to be able to distinguish who is what team type of thing.
So the colors had to be bright.
The bright had to know, like, okay, these are the 49ers or these are the Chargers, like, you know, to distinguish.
Wow, she actually knows.
I do know. And it also has to do a lot for, especially because I feel like around this time was when now color TV was introduced. So they were playing around with the colors of like, for it to come off the same way on TV to in person type of thing. So there wasn't like a discrimination.
Yeah, because like even if you want to like get the merch, like you want it to be the same color that you saw on the screen.
And also, if you think about it, for those that were able to, because you know, color TVs was like the new thing, type of thing. To afford it. So for those that weren't able to afford it, they had the black and white. But as well, you have to be able to distinguish even with the hues and the values of the black and white TV. Yeah. So that was like a main thing as well
that you have to take into consideration. Also, because I feel like it's a whole branding thing too. So it goes on more than just like your team or your school or whoever you're rooting for. It's also like a whole brand. It becomes in like an identity.
And you see that even like for when girlies go to like games now, like if they don't have specific color of a jersey or whatever, they wear the colors. Like if you don't have the jerseys and the like the
you would still wear the color.
You still wear the colors to it, you know.
And then buy something there. Cute.
Buy something there. A little hat.
A little excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think the numbers became more standardized, so they were assigned to different positions now. So if you were a linebacker, if you were, what else is there? A runner. You run. Oh, quarterback. That's another one. I think there's more, but like, guys, we're talking about the outfits. We're not talking about the sport.
Linebacker. Okay. Did you say that?
I said linebacker and quarterback. Let's see. What else do you know?
I don't know. I just wanted to.
She a runner. She a track star. Okay. Then we have the 1980s to the 1990s, which again, I feel like with technology being so advanced, not only in like the sportswear area, but just also like the TV, right? So now, and I feel like it also now became like, this was the football that we know now, where it wasn't just if you went to a certain school, you would support that team. It's almost like you're from that area, you support that team. The team started getting more like notoriety, and it became like a big event, so like Super Bowls and things like that.
I think the other thing, as well as like the Super Bowls and like all that stuff, I think at the same time you had a lot of like sponsorships and brands. So you had like Nike,
commercials,
you had Adidas, you had this, even like around this time is as well when like Saturday Night Live happened and stuff, and usually it was around the same time as like the football and stuff. So you had them kind of piggybacking off of that, or you had like commercials or collabs with them type of stuff.
Yeah, with them, like they became like stars, not just football players.
They're not just athletes.
Yeah.
They actually became a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is so interesting. But with that being said too, we have the branding, but we also have the branding of the logo. So it could be on cereal, it could be on t-shirts, it could be on so many things.
And you can have specifically the team or a person from the team that was well known. Yeah. That were like on
that would show. And I don't know, it just became like this big boom in like showing them as the face of the team.
And they had to be strategic on who they would show.
Typically quarterbacks, the most famous people. And then during this time again there was advances in like fabric, so it was more of like spandex and like lycra and stuff like that. Nylon, so it was just more flexibility in the
workout
suit.
Back to our workout thing.
We had more helmet technology, which it was about like getting safety for the players, because they realize now that there are side effects to getting hit on your head all
and
the time.
Unfortunately there was a lot of players who would pass away that would donate their body, like their brains, to be able to test it and to figure out a better way to
also
avoid
like
it.
A lot of broken bones, even like broken like necks, and like you know, it was just it was a lot. And so they realized that like the importance of actually protecting the players. And then in the early 2000s to now, we really have like the modern uniform. I think they've like really nailed it, and so they've kind of just stuck with the whole like thing. There's also more like customized and styles that go on for each like brand, I think. So like they'll work with like Nike with like certain teams, or you know, like Puma with certain like, and they make it specifically for them. And then there's also like all of these brand things, so like they'll be shown in like Puma ads or in this or in that, because it's like almost like the whole partnership type of thing.
Yeah.
And then just they kept going on the safety innovations.
Yeah. Which I feel like even till now, that's an important thing for them.
Yeah. And I feel like another thing that maybe like started now is like more eco-friendly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like fabrics. There you go. There's
a verb. There's a verb.
Materials. And so not only for like the padding, but also for helmets and for like the shoes, for the merch. So that's things that are getting implemented in now, and we see a little bit of that. But for the most part, this is what the uniform has grown into what we know.
So aside
from
the history, because we get a little history of what happens or how
it's evolved,
the gear and everything has evolved. Now we're going to go into the pop culture and trends that we've seen with the football, with the football in life and people and stuff, and how it's like the sport has influenced basically both pop culture and like the fashion world and stuff.
Made its way
and
into,
it's, you know, if you have watched Hallmark, there's this movie about this girl.
That movie! They play it every season too.
Love that literally like DIYs.
She's a fashion designer.
She DIYs the jerseys for the wives and the girlies.
Assistant.
For the wags.
She becomes the assistant who then turns
Can I be a wag so I could do that for the
herself.
wags? Specifically F1 wag.
Go watch that movie. I don't even know what it's called. But we'll post the little picture here.
It's so cute.
It's so good. It is giving book talk.
It is before book talk.
Like guys.
I could get in a rant, guys.
If you guys wanna, you know, like those like sports books, like rom-coms.
Yes.
That's the book. That's the movie you should watch.
That's the movie you should watch. Anyways, so jerseys as a casual wear attire. The jerseys have become popular, like casual fashion. You can see girls and guys like out and about just wearing the jersey style. And like some of them do like more of like a hip-hop type of style. I've seen
I've
like
noticed that.
With like more baggier jeans and like all this stuff, especially
almost
when it
like
comes
a bit
to
Billie Eilish.
Yeah. And so it's like worn by fans, even people that aren't fans like wear them. It's just I think it's like the the colors of it and like the idea
Harry Styles
of it.
has
the
Green Bay Packers on him.
And then so we see the street style, so like we get them paired with like the jeans, the shorts, similar to like a Billie Eilish type of style. But even with skirts, like I feel like you get a lot of like, especially like the school type of skirts, like the school like pinstripe type of skirts. And then as well we see like celebrities, as Leslie had said, you know, Harry Styles. You see celebrities out and about wearing their favorite jersey of their favorite team. Taylor Swift wearing the Eagles and then going to the Chiefs. Yeah. As Queen should.
The guy on the Chiefs.
And then we were talking about in history about how or I had said about how sometimes you don't have to wear specifically the logo or the jersey or the merch of the team. You can just simply wear the colors. Because those are the colors that when you see someone wear them, you automatically think
it's giving
who they
like
are.
Friendship bracelets.
Exactly.
You
know, that's their friendship bracelets.
That's their friendship
bracelets.
Like,
oh my god, I love your outfit.
Colors. Also, can we talk about how men will paint their face?
I was about to say that about how I would paint, but like I would do like the lines and like the little dots of my school colors when I would go to the football games, and like we would wear tutus and like all that stuff.
There are men who take off their shirt
and
their hairy belly buttons are out here being painted, bellies. And it's not cute, guys.
It's not that cute.
It's not cute.
You know, if you don't have six-pack abs, I don't
want to see
it.
If you know someone who's currently suffering.
I was like, how long is she gonna take this if I don't step in? if you know a loved one,
slap them in the face.
Girl, the Coke, clear out.
Sponsored by
Coke from
eventually.
I mean,
Coke
Zero. I stop with that.
I will drink that every day. I don't know. I was thinking of like, you know, they're coming out with a collab for Oreos. Okay, that's
I did see that. Actually.
I want to try it.
Dunkin, Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is Barbie themed.
Okay, that's a whole other.
Anyways, so we then the colors, the jerseys, but then we have designer collaborations. High-end designers.
Love that. Well, we also, before that too, on TikTok, there's a few trends going around where they'll make corsets out of jerseys or even out of old footballs. So there's footballs.
Oh.
You could also make purses. There's been people who make shoes. So it's kind of cool to see how it's taken a spin and you can take something that's really well known to kind of just create something else. Yeah. And it's also all in the name of eco-friendly.
And like kind of relating to you saying about them making like corsets of the footballs or whatever, I had a friend who we had a fashion class in fashion club, and she made a dress because it was like a sustainability type of thing of all her old running shoes.
We love that.
She made a dress, and then she like, it was like a corset type of style dress, and she used the laces and the little holes, what are they called?
Yeah, like grommets.
The grommets to make the corset in the back.
To like tighten it. That's so cool.
And it was really cool. Like it was very like intricate. Like she even made it like layered and like all this stuff. Like it was really cool. Like well thought out. Yeah. But it's like similar. Like when you like something so much and you're very like you can put your creative and stuff, you make your own spin on it. And
I
like,
feel
that's
like
one of them.
If you keep going, like if you like type this into like TikTok or anything, you will go, or even Pinterest, you will go down like a rabbit hole of all of these things that people make with used footballs, with used cleats, with like jerseys,
vintage
and it's
jerseys,
so amazing. Even tote bags I've seen, which is super cool. I think
that's cool.
Yeah, or you could just bedazzle them. But yeah, also obviously I feel like even like hip-hop artists or musicians, like you see it featured sometimes in music videos.
Yeah, music videos. I'm wearing Adam Sandler, you know, with his basketball shorts.
We love that.
I mean, sometimes we have to have an Adam Sandler type of summer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Brat summer.
Sometimes it's Adam Sandler summer. You
have a decision to do both, and no one's gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Anyways, football on the run.
Football,
way, hike,
and high fashion. How do they intertwine? How do they connect?
Come together.
Come together right now. Dun dun. Okay.
Go.
All right. There have been a lot of collabs with how we had said with the players themselves, but also there have been a lot of inspiration that designers have taken from football to their own pieces or to their own collections. The first one that comes to mind that this was like a collab, right? It dropped spring summer 2017 was the first one, I believe. It was Alexander Wang and Adidas.
Ooh.
Original. This collection was so fun that they even did a few more after that. Their second drop was I think in 2018 in the fall. Okay. And then since then they've dropped like several. But basically the design elements several.
They've dropped
several. My Valley Girl accent is coming through hard. Let's see. Do you think I can get through this whole thing? Hold on. Let me try. No disrespect to the Valley Girls. You're in my heart. Homegirls. How did I learn a Valley accent? Have you seen White Chicks?
I thought you were going to say the SNL.
The SNL! The Californians one? Stop. Okay. I'm going to try to say it in like my Valley Girl accent. So like totally cute.
Stop.
Stop.
I'm really annoyed.
You know what I'm thinking of too? I feel like tracksuits was a big thing.
Tracksuits?
Yeah, tracksuits.
No, I just wanted to clarify.
Speaking of early 2000s, tracksuits were a big thing.
Breakdancing. Like that Australia.
Now I just think of the guy from the Minions. What's his name? Vector. Okay. Anyways. I was thinking of something more like elevated. Like I was thinking of like
the Australia girl.
When like Y2K people would wear it. Okay, whatever.
Especially, I feel like the players, like, you know, when they were
like there is probably a picture of Paris Hilton somewhere wearing a tracksuit, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, and I was also going to say like the players either going to practice or coming out of practice or the game or whatever they would
Travis Kelce's brother, which
Jason
is
No, did you see the interview where he got mad because his wife didn't bring it? He's like, you got mad at her for. He's like, yeah. Like, what am I supposed to wear? Like,
you know what? They each have their own outfit when they get there, which is so funny because it has
so
nothing
casual.
to do with
He's
high
so
fashion. Some of them do. Some of them
hey,
dress out.
hey, don't shame.
Don't
shame.
Some people
Jason.
like their
I love
flip
Jason.
flops. We love him. No, I'm not shaming him. I'm just saying like this is a good thing. You go back. You could be Brat Summer, or you could be Adam Sandler Summer. The way you walk into the game. You can choose to be.
That was good.
Yeah, you could choose to be
the game.
What's his name? Jason Kelsey. Or you can choose to be someone a little more high fashion.
Like
someone
Travis.
like, you know? Anyways, okay. So, again, I feel like jerseys, tracksuits are very much the aesthetic of like this urban athleisure wear type of vibe that was going on with this collab. And I think it just impacted not only high-end fashion, but it just like showed what could be possible through this and how much you have like these diehard fans that would do anything for collections like this. Yeah. And even just like people in general who are fans of the sport, you know? Because there wasn't like a certain team that they used. It was just Adidas in general, which was pretty cool. Yeah, basically. Another one is the Balmain. Fall Winter 2014. Okay. Olivier, I don't know how to say his last name, I'm so sorry. Roasting? But you know who he is. You know, he's up here with the Kardashians.
Roasting?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to butcher it.
I always butcher everything.
I always butcher everything. But he included a football inspired, and it had details that were like quilted, like to emphasize like the shoulder pad area. You also had like metallic accents that kind of resonated through like football gear, obviously like the helmets and stuff like that. And so it's so cool because it like really showed high fashion if it was like just completely inspired by football. Okay. And if you look at that collection, it's so interesting because it's like football became like this runway that it's not typically known for. Because if you're really playing football, you're sweaty, you're a little stinky, a little bloody. Blood, sweat, and tears go into this.
Some teeth missing, maybe.
Maybe this is the same thing that happens when you're designing a collection. You know, as a designer, sometimes there's blood, sweat, and tears. But the whole aspect of it was influenced by it, and you see it, and it's like highlighted, which is really nice. Yeah. Then we have Givenchy 2012 Spring Summer by Riccardo Tisci. I hope I'm saying that right. And this one featured more jersey-like tops. So this was really focused on the jerseys. This was focused on like the athleisure shorts, you know, something that like Paul Mescal would wear, or like Harry Styles. Those little shorts. Do it for me sometimes.
The other day that Harry and someone
I
says
am weak for a man with a thigh tattoo.
But he has to have
and shorts like that,
like very defined toned. I'm gonna shut up.
Don't, because I'm just picturing Paul Mescal as a gladiator now. To all the girlies who have been victimized by this picture of Paul Mescal, I see you.
They know. I see
we
you.
We will rise
when
the movie comes out.
Oh, it down. Bring it down. Okay.
Okay. Anyways, sorry. Givenchy, but it was not only inspired by football. That collection was also inspired by basketball. Okay. So it had a bit influences of both. Okay. But it's just nice to highlight the football aspect. And then Avi, Tommy Hilfiger, he's very all-American.
He's football, in F1 right now.
American football. We love him. He's really a fan of sports. He really gets it done. We just know that he's going to serve that all-American football look, which is more inspired by like the early stages of football, but it's still modern. So it's beautiful. Yes. That was the fall 2015. We got the Leatherman jackets, which we all love.
Which you saw in like Greece and stuff like that.
I was thinking of Zayn, but yes.
I was going way back.
But yes. And I think it just impacted fashion in the sense of like it could be ready to wear, but it's appealing to a wider audience, right? Yeah. So even if you're a fashion girly, you can still be a football fan, and you can still wear these pieces and make them high fashion.
Exactly.
We have a few more. We have Louis Vuitton. We have Donatella Versace for Versace. We have Off-White. I feel like Off-White is also very known for their kind of like streetwear style.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these collabs and brands have been influenced by football, which is so crazy because I think this is the longest list I've had of like really high-end brands.
Which a lot of people would be like, oh, I wouldn't combine the two. I wouldn't consider the two. But it's something that's become very important to like a lot of people, and they are willing to pay the big bucks for it. I
think even like from a designer's point of view, being able to get something that's very athletic and seamlessly blending it into haute couture, like that is the juxtaposition that's kind of cool to see.
Exactly.
I think, and it appeals to how you were saying the fans, the audience. This is like a family type of like heirloom that they carry. It's like you're fans of the Eagles, you're just fans of the Eagles. Yeah. Like Taylor Swift. I mean, Taylor Swift is
and she changed because of her.
Is this her Romeo?
I'm gonna be like, I'm just a fan of Mercedes, and then Charles comes. I'm like,
a fan of F1.
I guess I'm a fan of Ferrari.
I'm just a fan of gladiators.
I'm just a fan of green-eyed white boys.
I'm just a fan of singers, musicians,
I'm just a fan of a guy who was in a boy band.
His name starts with the H, ends with the Y,
and has a last name with.
And his last name has to do with fashion.
A fashion style.
Wears little short shorts. Prefers a Lime bike for some reason. Eco-friendly king. Eco-friendly king.
I think he got his license suspended. I think he got his license suspended.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
I don't see him as Range Rover.
Also, Paul Mescal. Sorry, I'm in mourning right now because we love Gracie Abrams, and I really want to love them together.
My hair reminded them of Gracie Abrams the other day.
The short
at
hair.
Work.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so I'm dating Paul Mescal.
Bitch. Get out of this car right now.
And
you betrayed me. I'm not even gonna sing anymore. Anyways, if you are personally a fan,
I think you say personally offended, and I was like, my what?
If you are personally offended by my sister stealing my man,
no.
Actually,
because I didn't betray you.
I feel like we have different tastes.
Make me feel this shitty.
And
you make me hate this city. Cause I don't talk shit about you on the internet. Yo.
Okay.
That was deep.
That was really
Anyways, toodaloo Queenies.
Toodaloo. I hope you learned something new about the sport. Even if you don't watch it. Even if you don't watch it, we can see it from the fashion perspective.
From Leslie's point of view, you have the runner, the linebacker, and the quarterback.
I'm sorry. All I watch is for hot men. That's all I do. Am I... What is it when they like...
A boy looker?
A boy looker. Am I objectifying men right now? Maybe, but why are they going out like that? Bloody.
Why they gotta look like that?
And why do they gotta look kind of cute?
They know what they're doing.
They know what they do. Also, when they take off their helmet, they're a little sweaty.
You get a little messy here.
I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. So if you are Paul Mescal
and you are listening to
it doesn't work out with Gracie. I'm just kidding. I really love Gracie. This is why it breaks my heart. I'm so happy for you guys.
Are
you? I want to be. Harry's single. If you're ready to mingle.
Leslie knows nothing about sports.
I know nothing about sports. Literally. I know a lot about music. I could lend you a vinyl or two.
Lend?
Probably not.
Can have him sign the ones that you have of his.
Yeah. Sir, sign this. Anyways. I hope you enjoyed it.
I'm tired. I'm really tired.
That was a little aggressive.
Just work a little bit like 8-hour shift. I'm exhausted. So, toodaloo Queenies. Until next week. We love you. If you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram, on TikTok at We Are Fashionably Late with two
YouTube.
E's at That's a different handle.
Oh, sorry.
With 2 E's at the end.
Go.
And then
I'll
YouTube
slurp
at
this.
the Digitals Podcast. All the links will be there. Description, whatnot.
Please follow. Please like. Please share
Subscribe.
with your friends.
Listen
Comment.
to this podcast. If you have Spotify, we also do Amazon, YouTube, and
We're
Apple.
everywhere.
We are
We're
worldwide.
everywhere.
We're people, baby. Literally, no. They listen to us everywhere. Almost everywhere.
I can't believe there's people out in the
People,
Philippines
step
listening to
aside.
us. Guys,
There's
guys,
a new Mr. Worldwide.
guys.
And with me doing a slick
There's
back,
people in Ireland.
my hair might be getting to
Wait a minute. Is it Paul?
You didn't hear me.
Is it Paul? Wait.
I said...
We're
I
ready
said,
to do
I
this.
said, step aside, people, because there might be new, like, Mr. Worldwide's coming. And I said, and with the way that I be doing my slip bag, I think it's coming sooner rather than...
Pitbull, is that you? We got a Pitbull imitator out here. You know he's
Dale.
You need some glasses. Do you have glasses right now?
No.
Dale.
Dale.
Dame la
Dale.
vuelta. Oh, do I know Pitbull? I know Pitbull.
Anyways,
Bye Pookies. We love you. Please enjoy. Share with your friends. If you know Paul Mescal personally, send him my love.
send
Okay.
him her way. Bye-bye.